Hello, everybody. Welcome to our After the Fire stream. This is our Game of Thrones tabletop role-playing campaign, and we are at session 6 of this season. I have some beautiful people all assembled with me for some juicy fruits tonight. We're all of a nervous energy because things are coming to a head here at Castle Yronwood. And first of all, Exhibit A on my left. Susanna Grace is with us. Susie, how you doing?
Hi, friends. I have the big fear today because the other night Charlie and I were looking up episode 6 of Game of Thrones, right? Because our show has historically followed the same pattern as a TV show in terms of big events, right? The battles are usually like episode 9. So we were like, wonder what happens in episode 6. And it's usually all the times where consequences meet up with people and they get what's coming to them. And oh no.
How is your Tom Nook Ponzi scheme? I mean, your island on Animal Crossing.
I've retreated to my happy place, which is Animal Crossing. I am breaking copyright by custom designing JoJo outfits for my character to squish down the big fear and getting stung by wasps. So, it's just a good time.
That's all right. Ash made a Sailor Moon outfit.
Good. It's very good.
There are some cool little designs out there if you can find them.
Mm.
All right, cool. So let's go over to Tom because he looks like he's trying to fiddle with something as I'm talking. Hey, Tom, how are you doing? Are you adjusting?
No, I was scratching.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. I'm looking forward to today's episode.
Good.
Always. I don't know what people are worrying about. I think it's going to be perfect. It's going to be all easy peasy, in and out, sorted.
Job's good.
That's the way it goes in Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And how have your other games been? I didn't manage to catch any Ratholm stuff yesterday or anything, but
well, unfortunately, I was ill yesterday. I had a terrible migraine. I've only just gotten over it, so I didn't play, but the other cast did a fantastic job. They suitably screwed the pooch. And started PvP with each other. One of them decided he wanted to become the prince of the entire city. Good. My character was there, but kind of like brainwashed. But he got full plate. He looks pretty spiffing, so nice. I think it's worth it in the end.
I haven't heard spiffing in ages.
Yeah, so it's like. Yeah, so not bad. It was a very. I didn't see it all because I was away from the computer. I came back and forth, but from the little bits that I saw, it was suitably chaotic and fun.
Fair, cool. Yeah. All right, dude. Well, howhopefully things will be similar this session. Charlie is with us. Hello, Charlie. Speaking of all the encounter roleplay shenanigans, how's it going over there?
It's good. I'm semi-distracted because I have my crochet on my lap, and this is my new life. Whenever I'm not on stream,
consummate professional.
But it's keeping my lap warm as we approach summertime. So that was a good shout on my behalf. Good time to take up a hobby. I took up a hobby before everyone was staying indoors, taking up hobbies. So
the hobby hipster that you are.
That's me. But yeah, encounter roleplay has been a lot of fun this week. We had Crown Lands on Monday, where we had Tom guesting, so sister campaign to this one.
Yeah.
We had Alfred on the show, which was super exciting. We saw a little bit of Alfred during his travels.
Tell me why me Alfred. I didn't think too hard about how he was there. I was just like, oh, he's there too. That's cool.
Well, in the timeline, it's just after he's left King's Landing, so it's only a few days out, and Tal is only a few days away, so
that's fair.
It lined up pretty well. And, it was nice to hear some of Alfred's perspective speaking to an outsider.
Yeah.
So that was fun, and he also played Wendell Gaunt. Good job, Tom. 2 characters, one stream.
He did.
The Gaunts being the blood feud enemies of House Tremaine, the house that Susie and Sam play in. And, that episode turned out great for everyone and isn't going to end in bloodshed or anything. There were no big red stupid buttons pressed.
Not for Jamie, it's not.
I won't spoiler it in case anyone hasn't watched it. It did go up on YouTube today, so
fair.
That's over there. And then, tomorrow we've got big bumper double session. We've got Dishonored, which V GMs, Tabletop Horde, who plays here on After the Fire as well sometimes, not this week.
Yeah.
But Yeah. So we got Dishonored Part 2, and that's a wild exclusive, brand new, now available for pre-order from Adifia, so that's super exciting. And then we've got Seawall, which Don DMs.
Yeah, that wasn't on last week, but it's on this week, right?
Yes.
I'm super excited. Don, how are you prepping for that? Like, how's that going?
Oh, I was already done prepping for it. So, but it's great. I love running Seawall, and it's a low prep game too. It's kind of designed to be that way so that you can pick it up and play it really easily.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah. It's not, my instinct is I'm a very prep heavy game master. Like I prep a lot, but getting to it's actually really good for me to design and work on this game because it's forcing me to move away from my comfort, which is to have 10,000 words in front of me that I can just go to if I need them and just kind of run with it. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to tomorrow for that. I think last week we were out for one of our players is in the healthcare industry right now, which is right now the healthcare industry is working so hard to keep people safe. And so we took it off so they can have the night off and rest. But I think we're all really excited about playing tomorrow. So I think I played a game on Monday, but I think other than that, the last time I played was this last week. So I've been looking forward to this. I've got a bunch of games coming up here in the next week or so. And so all of my boredom that I've been feeling early on in the week is about to go away.
Yeah,
with games. Fair. That's the best.
Of course. Well, keep us posted on the Discord as well. Keep posting. Cool. And Jason is also with us. I have a big bumper of 5 folks with me tonight. Jason, how are you doing? How's your week been?
It's been pretty all right. Can't complain too much. Got a whole lot on the excuse me, a whole lot on the creative front that's been done. That's currently undergoing. So, it's very much it's very much a time for everybody. I know that people in the audience, people in the crew, people everywhere, all over the world are feeling the effects of it. We're so happy to have y'all here. So happy to be here amidst such wonderful folks. As it stands, I'll leave plugs and whatnot to the end, but yeah, I'm just happy to be here and happy to see where this goes because most of the consequences are not mine. They're everybody else's, which is a nice change of pace. So, yeah.
Kind of on the sidelines waiting to see what everyone else is doing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Well, I am having a proper nervous excited about this session. I've actually prepped, kind of like Don was saying, quite a lot for this session, as opposed to some of the others. So I am very excited to dive into it. So let's just crack on, right? So we are going to start this Season 3, Episode 6, The Scorpions of Dorne. And we are going to start with Myria. Of course.
Great.
Darkness surrounds you. Nothing but empty space and cold stone dungeon floor beneath you. Time is hard to focus on as the silence creeps into your mind. Your last meal being some time ago, and their irregularity confuses your sense of night and day. You are awake now, but your sleep has been broken and restless. And it feels as if you've slept for years and yet not at all. Above you, inside the castle, it could be midday or midnight, dawn or dusk. But the darkness surrounds you and the silence creeps further in. Suddenly, like a blow to the ear, the sound of a bolt turning in your cell door clunks and thuds, and a beam of orange light pierces your eyes. The soft clink of scale armor steps forward, but then you hear a softer step behind. As your eyes adjust to the torchlight, the elegant form of Princess Daenerys stands before you. You have just been given as well cheeky little test dice from James.
Oh, well, thank you very much, James.
She stands before you hesitantly and almost waits for you to react?
As she enters, Myria will. She's disoriented. Like she's had this light's very bright, and she kind of shield her eyes for a moment as she stands up and kind of dusts herself down as best she can.
Well, give her her meal at least, she says to a guard as the guard steps forward and plonks down onto the floor this plate with some meat in a brown gravy. You notice that she doesn't dismiss the guards, and the door remains open, and just on the other side you can see from the torchlight of the corridor down here another guard, an Ironwood guard, stood outside. In here with her is a Martell spearman.
I think as the meal is like brought in, Myria is like, "Oh my god, food!" And part of her, there's nothing more in the back of her head wants to just descend on that plate and just shove it in her face, but she resists it. But there's that little, her eyes are on it for a second before she looks back to Princess.
You're not hungry?
I am, but I was raised to be polite.
Please eat. I've already eaten.
Thank you. And she'll just sort of take to the meal, but she won't be like shoving it in her face. She'll still try and be polite as she can,
Cool,
even though it's
all
not
right.
like a silver service.
Sure.
As she's maybe accustomed to.
So I was going to start this without an initiative roll, but seeing as you're actually invoking a role-playing the breeding aspect of it, I am going to get you to roll status breeding.
Cool. It's going to be like 2. Let's see how we do.
And Charlie just donated you test dice for Alfred Rodman Breyer. So thank you, Charlie. Not just heckling from the sidelines.
Nah, I gotta support the whammy egos.
That is a 13 for Myria.
It's a 28 for Daenerys Targaryen.
Fucking hell.
All right.
Yep.
I mean, she has let you eat, so
yeah.
Let's chuck on those test dice. Give me 1 second. As you consider your disposition towards her, what objective you might have here, if you have any, and then just thinking about your first technique. So at the top of this exchange, she says, "Do you know who I am, child?" I don't mean that lightly. I mean, do you know who I am, child?
And Myria pats her lips. She says, I do. You're Princess Daenerys, married to Prince Martell.
Sister to His Majesty King Daemon II.
Yes.
She looks to the guard just briefly, and then says, "Rumored to be loved by Daemon Blackfyre."
Myria very pointedly says nothing at that.
A mother to several Dornish children.
And to what do I owe this pleasure, Princess?
I have heard some conflicting things about you. And based on something that was spoken to me about a few months ago, I am here for the truth. And this is the point where I would like to roll some dice. So this is a Shield of Reputation action. As she does the "Do you know who I am?" 23 versus your passive will.
Yes, that's gonna do it. I got a 16 as a passive will.
So if you she improves your disposition to her by 1 step.
Okay.
So you over to your action.
Okay, so as she steps in and she does the whole "do you know who I am" business, Myria is kind of eyeing her up to try and figure out what she wants, and her action is going to be a retarget.
Cool. So they're all awareness, empathy.
Let me just see if I get anything extra to that because I can't remember. No, awareness, empathy. All right, let's go. Come on, Myria. 20.
That is a success. So her last technique towards you was probably taunt. I mean, so the shield reputation action doesn't really have a technique attached to it, but taunt's probably what I was going for in terms of a kind of boastful kind of thing. And she is indifferent to you right now. She isn't DR3. But you gain +1 test dice against the next persuasion test you make.
Sure do.
Cool. All right.
And I think as she says, I've heard some things, conflicting things.
Yeah.
Myria puts down her little cutlery and she sort of pushes the plate away and puts her hands in her lap. And what have you heard, Princess?
Lady Helena spoke to my husband and her son, and she was so adamant that you were not Casella Sand, but Myria Greenmont. My husband and Lord Horatio weren't as convinced, but it gave me pause. I remembered that name. And then it came back to me. Mara Oakheart's wedding day. Lady Mara implored me to help her return her sister from Summerhall to Old Oak.
It is true. My name was Myria Greenmont. And I'm sure, being the aunt of Maekar, that you would know what happened at Summerhall. You have probably already heard about Lord Blackmont and his traitor niece, and how they disappeared that night. And you could probably understand why I had been going under a different name.
She leaves that to hang in the soft torchlight. She rolls a 12 versus your intrigue defense.
Oh god, what's my intrigue defense? I just closed my sheet up. Panic. Shit gets me because I don't have Daira with me.
You do not have Daira with you.
So I'm down to 11, so she gets me by 1
degree of
point.
Success. Gives you 3 composure damage.
3 composure damage. Okay.
Minus your DR, obviously.
Okay.
So we are there. Okay, it's over to your action.
She's okay. It's an influence, but she's trying to hit her with charm. I think she's trying to lay on the whole. I was doing it for my own safety, you know. Just a little. She's trying that routine again, you know.
Sure.
So, okay, that is charm. So let me do that real quick. That would be persuasion. So I get an extra keep die. Because of the retarget.
Yeah.
So that becomes 5. I'm dropping 1. Go. Oh, hang on, with charm as well. Let me see. +2, that becomes 16.
That is 1 degree of success.
Okay. So that's 3.
Okay. She says, I have heard the rumors, but I haven't heard it from people who were there. Guards, knights, or Blackmont himself. No one verifiable. What really happened to you?
What happened was I was taken from my room, left with Lord Will, Lord Blackmont, and someone else, and I was drugged, threatened with a snake, threatened with death, with whatever it was they were going to do to me, until my uncle snapped. He killed Lord Will, he killed the other men, and then he dragged me from the castle, and then we did what we had to survive. We were in the Red Mountains. We were captured by thugs, by bandits, and I thought we were going to die over and over. And then my god's father came and he took me from Vulture's Roost and he brought me here. And he said that to be safe, I should go by a different name. We decided that until we could get it sorted, until he could go take my uncle and make him stand trial for everything he did, then I should be Casella Sant. Just until we were safe.
So you say safe, she looks around the dungeon walls.
Wow.
Now that is a story.
It's the truth.
$15 versus your passive deception.
Okay, is this a retarget action?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me double check a thing because I have cunning ranks passive deception, so that would be a 16.
Okay. So you can see that she's trying to process this, then as you're speaking to her and being quite compelling, she is trying to kind of get a read on your expression, your mannerisms, how you might elaborate the story. Why don't you go ahead and take your action for me?
Okay, yeah, I'm just going for another straight influence, I think. Yeah. Let's go. 15.
That is 1 degree of success.
Okay, it's 3 again.
Okay. Pretty interesting story indeed. So I am to assume your god's father is Sir Oliver Ironwood.
Yes.
She starts to begin to walk round the walls a little, starts to own the space a little bit more. And why would he care about you? From a Reacher house, Dorne in exile, probably someone who loathes the company he keeps, regardless of who it is. Reacher, Dornish brothers he's been thrown aside from. Why bring you here? Why break his exile? Why a little girl?
You're wrong about him. He'd been in service to my house since long before I was born, before even my brothers were born. He was a good and loyal friend to my father. He loved and cared for me like I was his own. He taught me Dornish songs. He taught me Dornish dance. My mother was Dornish, and she died on the birthing bed. I never got to know that part of my heritage, but Sir Oliver was there, and he taught me everything. And there is no man I know who loved his family more than him.
That is certainly true. But there is a side to him I'm sure you do not know. Reckless one. Dangerous one. You sought safety, but you will not find it in these walls. Maybe you are his daughter. Maybe that's why. Maybe you are Casella Sand, Myria Sand, whatever this might be. But just a scared little girl. Unless there's something more. What could that be? Uh, 11 against your intrigue defense.
That is my intrigue defense.
Okay, 1 degree of success. Well, that is 4 composure damage.
4. Okay. All right.
And your action.
Okay. So, oh. Can I read target again? Just gonna watch her.
Okay. Oh, another little bonus dice there.
Awareness, empathy. Let's go. 18.
Yes, that is a success.
Okay.
Let us know who that bonus dice is for. Pitter Patterer, thank you very much. And we kind of, is it tip the command? We do have a little thing. If you want to interact with the stream, we've got bonus dice and additional test dice to roll. We roll pools of d6, so if you want to add any more to the characters here, you can, and they will spend as they need to. Susie, you do have a bonus dice and a test dice in hand if you do need them.
Yep. I'm aware.
Cool. All right. She's going to consider. So you've got the floor here.
Okay. Ooh. And Myria had never really considered anything other than Oliver was her godfather. But with Daenerys saying that, and then she thinks of her dream, she's like, no, that's nonsense. And she looks at Daenerys and she says, he brought me here because this was the safest place he knew.
A place that he knew he may very well be murdered for coming back to. Did he tell you that?
I knew he was in exile, yes.
But did he tell you that?
No.
Heed my words, child. His recklessness shows.
What do you know about him? What is this history you're dancing around?
That is not really my place.
Yet you use it to taunt me.
I know what it is like to have lost and loved brothers. And so I can understand what my husband has gone through. Ancient blood runs between these two families. And as women, we so rarely get to decide where we make our alliances. That is what Lady Mara said on her wedding day. She's had no say in what's happened to her, and she's lost so much. I remember her words so vividly now. I can understand what you have been through. Going to Summerhall, being placed there, taken from your home, being abducted by your uncle. Or perhaps your god's father, truly, if the rumours are to be believed. This could be a plot, a play, a step in the Game of Thrones, a piece. You, as the players around you move, change your position. Be careful.
As she says that she understands, Myria's jaw tightens and a little fist clench. And she looks at her and says, "No, you don't understand. Every step of my life, I have had things and people that I love taken from me. Every step of the way. And the things I've seen. Tell me, Princess, do you know what it sounds like? As a man's ribcage is split open in front of you. Have you heard the sound of a man's last breath through his slit throat? And she's openly crying and clenching her hands together. I came with all of it because he gave me a choice. For the first time in my life, I was given a choice. He said I could be whoever I wanted to be. I was free with him. I wouldn't have to go back to Summerhall. I wouldn't be married off to whoever was politically convenient. And so he brought me here. And for the first time in I don't know how long, I could breathe. And he gave that to me.
But where is he now?
He's coming back. He swore to me.
Then may the gods give him bravery and grace. Casella, Myria. And may the gods have mercy on you as well. And she turns to leave.
Myria is just crying at this point. She just puts her head in her arms and just starts crying.
And the door creaks closed behind her, and the bolt clanks and thuds shut as you are left once more in total darkness. Alfred. You see Castle Yronwood before you. This yellow bricked curtain wall and keep on a fairly low plain next to a village marketplace and a port just beyond. And the thing that catches your eye the most is this huge fleet gathered here of warships, with the standards of House Martell alongside those of a red cockerel on yellow, and a mix of a few other houses and colours. All some out to sea, a couple still in port now. And as you start to get closer, you can notice the road that heads north up to the Stoneway, and then it would head south further in towards Dorne. As you approach from the west, how would you like to actually approach the castle with Rob and Briar in tow?
Before we get too close, I think I would like to take them to one side and discuss like any plans or ideas. So you'll take it to one side. We're on foot now. I do have to ask. I would have paid Hyle.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't have silver, so I had to give him. So I would have asked him how long he was staying.
All right, let's say then that you wait. He heads actually up to Yronwood as you hold back, and on his return, he's been paid.
Right. Okay.
So he will now have a bumper amount of change on him.
Okay, cool. Because I was just going to give him a gold dragon and say, "Could you wait for us to come back?"
Oh, well,
and
let's
take
scratch
him
that.
down.
Yeah,
and take us back down the river.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Okay, so I'll mark that off.
He asks if this is for discretion. Such a sheer amount of money to bring you back, not a few leagues. I can keep a secret, of course.
Yeah. Yes, for discretion.
Very well. I shall return just for the outcropping there.
Thank you.
I should be camped there tonight, actually. I don't plan to stay very long.
Okay. Well, we shall head back here when our business is complete.
I will wait for you.
Thank you. And then we'll head off.
All right.
And then obviously once Yronwood gets into sight, head to the side and look to the others. Briar, you've been in Dorne before. Have you ever been here?
Couple of times, yes. Yronwood is impossible to miss for someone of my trade.
I see. Rob, what about you?
And I think Rob is got his hood up because it's daytime, right? It's still Dorne. It's still very hot. And he's like leaning back against a tree, sort of overlooking the port and the castle. And he's probably like he's shaving off the skin of an apple with his knife. Just kind of looking out to the sea. And he says, never been here, but those, what? Do I recognize the sails that the ships are flying? Can I tell?
You certainly recognize House Martell.
Okay.
Make me a cunning memory test to see if you recognize any others.
Can Briar do the same?
Yeah, for sure.
An 11.
It's unfortunate that you don't know. Briar, you think that that this is probably a Dornish fleet. The Red Cockerel makes you think of a Dornish house, but there are also a couple of Red Cockerels around towards the north as well. But it's a good assumption.
At least I know what a cockerel is.
With a 6, yeah, you know what a cockerel is.
With a 6.
Yeah.
Rob sort of turns his chin up towards the port and says, "But I don't know why there'd be Martell ships here, warships at Ironwood. Briar, you ever seen anything like that when you've been here before?"
Friend mentioned a feast, and if there is a feast, then wouldn't be surprised that the Lord's Regent would make their way down here.
Sort of waves the knife around and takes a bite out of the apple and chews off a piece, and through like munching on the apple slice, he says, "I don't think Martells would come to the House Ironwood for a feast."
Not unless it were a feast to end all.
So, not only do we have to contend with Lord Ironwood, we have the Martells here as well.
You view this as a disadvantage?
I view it as another complication.
He sort of takes his pack off and double check to make sure I've got this right. You know, packed away, he has one of Sir Oliver's Sherwani like official dresses. He's got a picture that's wrapped up in a scroll, and he's got the halberd. And he sort of like holds it in his hands and hefts it against his chest and says, "I don't know if it's going to be harder or not, but there weren't any love between the Martells and Sir Oliver. They were open enemies."
We're not here to see the Martells. We're here to see Lord Otto Ironwood. It was Otto, right? Okay, thank you.
I imagine that's in character.
That's yeah. I'm sure Oliver would have told him. So let's hope we can go straight to see his lordship and see what we can do.
And Myria?
We will inquire and request that if she is here, or any information, but if she is here, that she be allowed to come with us and take her home.
Let's hope this Otto is an agreeable chap.
Well, from what I remember with Sir Oliver, he was a honourable man. I think we
takes
can...
another bite out of his apple.
Squints at the word honourable.
We can only try. Oh, and he'll kind of go into his bag and start looking into his bag, and he'll pull out some very neatly folded kind of like clothes. Lady Marcia told me I had to wear these. And he starts taking off his old tattered, leather kind of thing, and take it off. He starts putting it on, and he looks at the. I know. And he just puts it all together, and he visibly feels very uncomfortable and very silly.
What do the clothes look like?
I don't know, Martia, what do the clothes look like?
Charlie, what do they look like?
So I imagine because she knew you would be going to Dorne, it's kind of been done up based on one of the outfits that Oliver had. So it's kind of like a long jacket with like a lot of embroidery down where the button fastenings would be. The button fastenings are probably like a simple dark wood of some description. It's maybe in like grey with like a yellow thread for the detailing. So it's kind of like a light jacket, but it's a long jacket that you can wear over your simple shirt and trouser combo.
Can I at least wear my leather armor over it?
You can do whatever you want. She's not here to police it.
I'm not here. You can wear it like a waistcoat corset situation if you want. I'm not there.
I think Rob, as you're changing into the Sherwani, like he kind of like offers the rest of the apple over to you, and he says, "She picked good. Those are nice."
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like a fool. And he'll bite into the apple and finish it off.
He sort of gestures and smiles, though he does notice Briar holding
Church
in,
giggles, yeah.
laughs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says, my opinion makes you look like a knight. Makes you look like you belong.
I think that was what Lady Martia's decision for it was too. Never going to get used to that. Right, well, I guess the plan is to approach the gates, announce our intentions, and go from there.
As quietly and as dignified as possible. And Briar will bow very deeply and allow you to lead the way.
As he bows, he throws the cork at him playfully and smirks. And
So looking from the west towards the east, which road do you head towards? The one heading to the north in the Boneway, or the one heading south out of the castle towards Dorne?
I would go north.
Okay. So you head to the north gate. This is not the because the Boneway is actually quite wide, I imagine. So there's no literal gatehouse to it, but the Castle Yronwood stands to guard the way. So it stands at the base of it, and so you imagine there's quite a in a way, kind of this could be a thoroughfare, and it's just a kind of checkpoint in a way for a lot of merchants and stuff. So you imagine there would be a kind of very quite built up gate at the north, and there is, only there are no guards on it. And the portcullis is down, and just echoing inside the bailey, you can hear shouting.
That doesn't seem normal.
We'll immediately try and parse whatever is happening.
The shouting is fairly angry. You don't catch any of the individual words necessarily from here, but you do hear some berating going on from a couple of sides. How close are you guys to the actual gate itself?
I probably wouldn't have gone straight when we heard the shouting. I would imagine we stopped. Just took a moment to assess. Doesn't seem.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
Martell's.
Okay.
Do you want me to go scout ahead, see what I can see?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
All right. You gonna be right here? You gonna get out of sight?
Is there anywhere we could go out of sight?
I imagine there is some dry ditches, maybe a boulder or two you could try and hide behind.
We'll hide.
Not going to be amazingly easy
fine.
Blend in with the environment here, but
we'll head around. We'll meet you over by those rocks, and we'll kind of just head behind.
All right. Don't get your Sherwani dirty just yet.
Oh, right, yeah.
He manages a small smile and then moves off. Rob dips down, and the sandy ground that makes up the Boneway, he pulls up some of that sand and rubs it into his hands. He rubs it onto his pants, a little bit on his face, and then he moves off to the side of the road and skirts along it, moving through the rocks, trying to get closer to see if there's nobody guarding the gate, and he can't see once he gets up to the gate what's going on. He might try to find a rocky outcropping where he could climb up to get a view from atop it.
When you get to the gate, it's just that the portcullises are down, so you can see through into the bailey, and say a couple hundred yards or about 100 yards inside, you see two large groups of soldiers you immediately recognize as soldiers squared off in the courtyard, and a few are berating from a group of what look like to be kind of knights. They have plate armor, Dornish plate. They have the colors of House Yronwood, and they are shouting, and you get snippets of honor, ancient rivalries, bloodlust, betrayal, and from the other side, a mix of Martell colours, that red cockerel again, various Dornish colours, as well as some more House Yronwood men.
And you said the portcullis is down. Like I can't go through it.
No,
I can just see through it.
Yeah.
Looking around, can I see it? Does it look like the entire courtyard's so crammed that there would be no way to get in? Even if we could get over the walls or whatever, that like we would obviously, there's nowhere to hide. We'd be noticed if we tried to get in.
That's right, yeah. Well, you could probably try and duck down, but yes, it's quite crowded. Yeah.
And how tense does this look?
Some are currently wielding weapons. Others have them by their sides. The knights are in battle dress, and the guards, the guards on the other side, are very much the same. This is almost like mercenaries parlay or something.
If you could see Rob's eyes, the wheels are turning quickly, fiercely, and he looks over his shoulder at his pack and kind of chews his jaw for a moment. Oh, I could do two things. Let me see something real quick.
Okay.
Oh, that's always a good sign. Whenever Dawn starts looking at his character sheet,
starts crunching those numbers.
Starts crunching the numbers, yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
So, Jason, Alfred's gone off to retreat to some rocks, and there's a bit of cover there that you can hide behind.
Yeah, Briar's not going to be standing out in the middle of the road.
That's fair. Just wondered if you were going to join him or whether you were going to try and join Rob at
all. As I see, because I'm assuming that Rob has sort of kept his presence known to us at the very least, or in canon.
Yeah, he's tried. He's not tried to sneak off or anything yet.
Okay, so I'm thinking I could probably just wait and look and see what he's going to do first.
Okay. What is he going to do, Don?
He draws the halberd and he raises it up over his head. He positions his body such that like his torso's not entirely open between two of the portcullis. Like if you were to take a shot through it at him, it would be difficult. He could just step out of the way very quickly. So he's almost sideways, but he holds the halberd up and he's going to call out, just try to bellow his voice through the courtyard. And the words that he says are, "I come in the name of Sir Oliver Yronwood."
All right, I want you to roll for me a Persuasion command test. So any command specialty dice that you have will apply.
Would this be considered? Would this be considered an influence, or is this just a roll?
This is just a roll. This is more to get them to notice you. It's more about your presence than it is about an actual persuasive argument.
Gotcha. 16.
Okay. You get, say, half a dozen guards nearest you, and they're probably only about 15 feet or more away. To turn and to look, and there is this halberd hanging there, and just out of the corner of the little portcullis as you're ducking and just keep trying to keep as unseen as possible, they head towards it.
Which guards are they?
They're Ironwood guards.
Okay. Are they, when I say guards, like are they the knights?
They're not the knights, they are the guards.
Okay. Do any of the knights take notice?
No.
Okay.
They are more focused on what is being said in the courtyard.
Briar will immediately go and like flank Rob and try to like make it look to where it's sort of like, no, we're not like attacking or anything. We're just here. It's okay. Stop. Don't kill.
And he certainly doesn't look aggressive.
Alfred goes, "Fuck my life," and heads to the gate.
All right. So the three of you are now at the gate.
Yeah.
I'm immediately hiding behind Alfred so that he looks important.
Okay. So trying to peer through the portcullis, what do these guards see?
Rob, just kind of partially visible, holding up the halberd, and he would greet them as they come to. He would just sort of repeat what he said before, even louder, just trying to make sure as many people hear as possible, that they're here on behalf of Sir Oliver Ironwood with news.
Alfred would be beside Rob. Fairly close.
Okay.
Beside Rob.
How long are you willing to wait?
I mean, wait for... I mean, you said
what?
guards are coming this way.
Guards are here with you now.
Are they
saying anything?
Yeah.
What? That's pretty much. That's pretty much it. They're kind of astounded. Like, is he with you?
No. And he looks back to Briar, and then Briar, you would notice his backhand just sort of subtly point upwards and do one of these, like a circle around. And then he looks back to the gate. He's not looking up himself. He says, Sir Oliver's dead. We're here to tell his family of the news.
Who the fuck are you? And why should I believe you?
Friend, I'm Sir Rob of House Greenmont, and this is Sir Alfred of House Greenmont. We've been sent by the lady of the house to deliver this message directly to the Ironwood family.
I'd like you to roll a persuasion test for me.
This is why Alfred kept his mouth shut.
Okay, this one's different.
But guards notoriously have very poor passive will, but I'm going to make this like doubly difficult. It's like so out there for them that this is a pretty hard blag.
Okay, and this isn't an influence either?
What's the kind of benefit there? Like, is there a thing?
I get a bonus if it's an actual influence. If it's, if I'm actually influencing.
Sure. What's the bonus to?
To the
actual test result.
To the actual, yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. This is it, yeah. Because it's basically a quick intrigue. It's just one influence test, and then you make it.
Okay.
Kinda,
Another 16.
You see him kind of like grimace a little. It's again like the cogs in his head are turning a little bit, and he looks to the others. Give me your news, and I will deliver it. What do you have to prove this? This could be some trick, and you can see two of the guards have already gone off.
Briar at this point speaks up. His halberd. And the fact that I watched him die.
Who the fuck are you?
Briar of House Greenmont. Now, that name means nothing to you, and it shouldn't mean anything to you.
You're right, on both counts.
But it will mean something to your lord to know that his son is dead.
He looks at the halberd. Is this the halberd?
The very same.
I did not know what his halberd looked like.
He will. If you would but let us pass.
His Lord Horatio is busy right now.
Alfred will look between the other two. Because in Alfred's mind, he thinks Horatio's at the wall. Because that's what Oliver told him. She was like...
Briar looks back to Alfred. That's a different name than what we were given.
Oh, no.
It's his brother.
Yes. Where is Lord Otto Ironwood?
He is dead. God's rest his soul.
Yes. May the Seven watch over him.
leans in close. My friend, if you need confirmation that this is Sir Oliver's halberd, I have his clothes, his ceremonial garb. Call over one of your knights. They served in the same order, right? Same armor? Surely they'd recognize it.
There is no order anymore.
I see. Lots of change then.
Lots. As there is another roar, and actually there's a few people joining the knights, like the lead knight here, this kind of old, aged knight, and the rest of the knights are roaring behind him as you wait at the gate for confirmation from the guards. Myria.
Oh boy.
Sitting in the dark once more, the expanse of darkness and the ocean of this time around you is broken again by voices that you're not even sure are real. Voices outside the door you're sure was behind you on your left, but those voices disorientate you now as they come from directly behind you. You can't help but whip round, your eyes trying to pierce the darkness that you might see who it is. But your ears will have to do for now. From the other side of the dungeon wall, you can hear the faint, muffled, bass voice of a man, his Dornish accent thick and guttural. "We've come for the prisoner. She is to be moved." "I haven't been told," replies another man, probably standing just the other side of your door. "I'm telling you now. Let us in." And again, that bolt clunks and thuds, and that shaft of light breaks the darkness, and two shadows swoop inside, with that clink of metal scales and the shadow of cloaks on their back. "Get up," spits the Gargalen guard to your left, with a Martell man at arms partnering him to his right.
And Myria is like, what's going on? What's happening?
"Get up."
Why?
He said get up, and he reaches for her and pulls her to her feet. As the other man binds your hands behind you, "We are leaving here." And he shoves a sack over your head and ties it tightly around your neck.
Oh, she starts to panic at this, I think, and starts to like struggle.
Sure. 20 versus your combat defense. Minus,
oh, fuck yeah.
Minus your agility, probably.
Yeah, no. My combat defense is 8.
Cool. So with a plus base damage of 4, and probably an athletics -2, so it's like 12. That's a lot of damage, straight up.
Yeah.
So you struggle, and then he smacks you square in the jaw, slapping you down to the floor. And as the other guy lets you go, you're out of it for just a second, and you're back in that like ocean of darkness, just that kind of weird, just even the ground is moving now, and they yank you back up and start moving you outside. The hood about your face suffocates your breath, and the spot around your mouth becomes uncomfortably warm and damp as you feel there might be blood start running down at your neck and onto this cloth. As you try and draw air, this horrible irony air, through this rough-spun weave. Being dragged from your cell, you stumble up the steps into what you remember of the castle corridors. But the lefts and the rights the guards take you down set you a spin and disorientate you. Your ears pick up the cries and shouts from outside, muffled men shouting and berating one another, and a tingle shoots down your spine as you hear the voice of Sir Frederick, screaming of honor and ancient blood.
As soon as she hears his voice, she starts like trying to shout and scream as she can. She doesn't physically struggle, but she's calling out as she hears him.
And the guttural, deep-voiced Dornish guard yells at you again, "Shut up!" And in that quiet, the echo of the footsteps now and the uneven floor makes you think you're going outside. And the shouting behind you quiets into an absent echo. As the soldiers drag you, your legs still tripping up as their pace outmatches your own, you hear the worried voices of small folk around you, asking questions of what's happening at the castle. But they're battered away, seemingly, by guards who scream at them to get indoors. You hear a cart turn over, seemingly, and the cries of a woman being pushed away. And finally, after some time, as you keep moving, the clomp of their boots and your slippers on a wooden deck, and the sound of the wash of the sea lapping on the stones of Red Rock Port. And that places you in your mind on the shore of the Sea of Dawn. You're forced to take the steps up, hitting your shins on the way up as you stumble over them one by one. And then you are led by a single guard forward and the guard behind, the other dropping behind you, across an unsteady wooden board. And as you find your feet on this new wooden surface, the ground sways and the floor creaks. You can hear the wash of the sea lapping against the shore and possibly something nearby as well, as you kind of rocked to and fro. And they slowly take you to another set of steps and lead you down those as well. Quite cramped now, you can feel these men get closer to you, and they lead you down further again, down some steps, down a hatch, and then leave you on a soggy wooden floor. This wood creaking all around you, and this floor slowly ebbing up and forth, rocking forward and backwards. And you hear the hatch above you close and lock shut.
Okay, so she takes a moment just to take in everything and feel that throb in her face where she was punched, and try and breathe through this sack. And her first major concern is, I can't breathe with this on. So she's gonna try and struggle out of her bonds behind her back, and if she can, try and do that thing, you slip your body like through your arms behind you.
Yeah.
Because she's a limber kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can try and. At least she gets her hands in front of her. She can like loosen that around her neck.
What do you want to make this? Like, got this is agility contortions. I have legit never rolled this before, so
I have nothing in it, but let's hit the button.
Agility contortions, and to get your hands to your front, I think is just like a difficulty 6 thing. This is like,
okay.
This isn't too difficult.
Okay, what's my dice situation like? Let's use one of the bonus dice. Screw it. Let's do it.
Alrighty.
All right. Okay, one bonus die. Help if I had none on. Good job, Susie. 8.
Okay. It's a struggle and frustrating at first, but you, even with the rolling around on the uneven ground, you manage to, on your side, probably lying on your side, get your hands over your legs, and now your wrists are in front of you.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna try and get that rope from around her neck, get that sack up so she can breathe.
I mean, so I can imagine that she tries to tug, and it's just too tight. So that then she tries to look for the knot, perhaps, and she's scrabbling around the neck either side, and it takes a while, and it's painful because it's tugging on your neck, it's tugging on your wrists, and the more and more that you struggle, the more that your like shoulder starts to cramp and stuff like that. But you work hard, and you finally, after probably picking a nail or two off because you're trying so hard, you pull this knot free and the sack loosens.
She just throws it from her head and just takes that deep breath. And then
you're in somewhat darkness here, but there are tiny shafts of light, and because your eyes have been in such darkness, have already almost adjusted to what's here, and these little shafts of light just illuminate a hold, what you've imagined to be a hold in a ship, as you've probably maybe never been on one. And it's lots of like barrels and boxes and stuff in the darkness here, and this damp and kind of musky, salty smell of this ship.
Okay, so she's gonna just desperately look around for anything that she can use to like cut her bonds, or like a fucking makeshift weapon or something. She's just gonna desperately scrabble around in this hold.
You don't take long, and your first instinct is to kind of look underneath. You're looking for something secret, something like a weapon that you might not be here, and actually you suddenly look up and you're very aware that there is a whole crate here of spears. Tall ones, all forged out of it's very slick silvery steel at the tip. But they are quite high up because they're in this crate, and they're a good kind of 7-8 foot long. But there's a whole frickin' crate of them here.
Is there anything she could drag to just like step on so she can reach one?
Yeah, that's probably like a box or something. You kind of kick a box over slowly. It takes some time. It's weighed down with something, some provisions. But and maybe even just like rolling a barrel around to try and get something to step up. So you eventually step up, and you're just kind of leant over as the deck that you're below is kind of getting to your head, as these spears are just almost there, and you're there able to slowly cut them free.
Okay, so these are like fully assembled, complete spears, right?
Yes.
The problem with spear shafts is they're not easily breakable, so I won't be able to just pop one out and just snap the tip off. Oh shit.
Talk us through your thoughts, Susie.
No, so basically Myria is looking for something that she can conceal on herself that would be small enough, like, just anywhere. Just so if she's desperate enough, she can whip out something sharp and just stab a motherfucker if she needs to. Like, she's
these
survival mode.
These spears look larger than the training spears you ever used. The spear that Sir Frederick was using as well in the training grounds.
Oh, so these aren't just your standard spears. These are like chunky boys.
They're well forged chunky boy spears. Yeah.
Dang. And they're entirely made of steel.
No. So the tip is made of steel, but the shaft is a like a doweled, like hardwood.
Okay, so Myria's gonna try something. She's gonna grab one, take one down, and she's gonna try and wedge the shaft in something and use her whole body weight just to try and break it.
Okay. So I would like you to roll an athletics strength test for me, please.
Famously strong, this 13-year-old girl.
I'm looking for a 9.
9.
So it is a struggle, and you push with all of your strength, even getting to a dangerous point where you're putting so much weight towards the tip end that you've got that's not wedged, that you worried about slipping off, and just as you think you might, it breaks, and you've got, say, a kind of 18-inch kind of dirk, I guess, now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So she's gone to, because she's still wearing her dress, right? She hadn't been ripped out of her dress that she was wearing at the dinner.
No,
I imagine.
this is just it's a very mucky dress now,
Mhm.
but this is the dress you were wearing at dinner.
She's gonna just hide it down in her front. She's gonna conceal that blade she's just in. It's gonna look uncomfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but she's.
I would like you to roll thievery for me, and sleight of hand.
Okay.
Is that the second roll of thievery this season?
Did you know, Tom? Thievery is treated as a poison in after the.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Oh God.
You cut yourself
Mm.
with this. Please take an injury.
Good. Strong. An injury?
Yep. But
Okay.
you can place it upon your person. Maybe even in your person. No. You can place you can place it on your person.
Okay.
Given that you are now also bled a bit from the stomach.
I mean, she's bleeding out of her face right now, and I think in this quiet time, she'll just take a second to be like, "Oh, my face," and check her nose to see if it got broken with that punch, because it was a hell of a punch. So she's kind of like, "Okay, damage check. What's going on? Do I have all my teeth?"
One of them's loose, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's great. It'll look cool when it's gold. And then she's going
He's
to.
cracked out your last baby tooth. There you go.
Oh, there we
Wow.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's done it.
Did me a solid. Thanks. Didn't have to do the string in the door trick.
Right.
And then when she's just taken a second to breathe, she's got her little weapon on her. She's starting to feel a little bit better. She's gonna look, because there's little holes, right? Little potholes. Did you say? There's like a little.
There are slants of light coming in from maybe the deck above.
Oh shit.
And there are probably like a couple of the way you are so low down, it's going to be trying to be so watertight that there's really no like little pores or anything from down here.
Hold.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna creep up the stairs to the hatch, and she's gonna look and listen for as much as she can, try and figure out, like, I mean, she knows she's at the port. She can figure that out. She's trying to figure out like which ship she's on, like who has her, because she knows the Gargalans are here, she knows the Martells are here.
Oof. Wow. All right. I would like you to roll a like difficulty 18 awareness notice check.
Okay.
Or like awareness logic if you've got logic specialty dice.
She has notice specialty dice.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Okay. And I can re-roll exactly one notice check, as I have keen senses.
Ooh.
Exactly 1 on a notice, sorry. Do we have any ones? There's 1. Okay, let me roll a set. Let me
18, Brand. So can you top that up for me? So we'll drop the 2 instead. So 2 6 is 12, 2. 15, 19.
She's doing it.
Yeah. So based on where you remember the ships being in port, you think that this is the main ship that was docked here, basically the closest to the keep. And that will have been Marin Martell's flagship.
Good, strong, excellent. Okay, and I think she just goes, oh, she that sinks in. But she also isn't an idiot. She knows she can't escape, really. She does do a little try of the hatch to see if it's locked, just to.
I mean, it is, yeah.
Yeah. And she's going to sit back down on the deck, put the hood over her face, put her hands behind her back, and wait.
Nice. Alfred, once more. As you are cautiously invited in, the portcullis goes up for just a moment, and you head under accompaniment from a number of guards. You step just a few feet into the courtyard itself, and you can see clearly now the two sides facing off against each other. This knightly order that it looks very filled with bloodlust in their eyes, and this mix of household guard of Ironwood and other assembled Dornish knights here. And you look about, there is a personal guard somewhere in the center, seems to be kind of more closely packed in, with shields guarding someone. And then the knightly order obviously are a bit more, not of a rabble, but a little bit more loosely formed. But only a few seconds after the portcullis goes down, a roar goes up that reverberates through your body. The roar of 100 men with fire in their hearts and the blood of an ancient feud pumping in their veins. A roar all too familiar for a knight and veteran of the red-grassed fields. And as the knights of the courtyard charge with sword and spear in hand at the assembled garrison. The yellow tabards of House Ironwood meeting their own in combat, with the red cockerel bolstering and defending the defensive side. The battle formation line begins to thin out and becomes somewhat of a swirling melee that you are starting to get caught up in at the very edge of this as knights and guards start turning on you. The guards around you don't quite know where to look or what to do, pull weapons, and prepare for battle as a group of spearmen charge the three of you. I need you all to roll initiative for me, please. So that is agility with the quickness specialty.
Can you describe, Sam, where exactly we are? Like, what's our immediate surrounding?
So your immediate surrounding, there is a little inlet where the portcullis is that you can kind of back into a little bit, and those kind of little murder holes that you can duck into, perhaps, where guards might be if they're trying to ambush somebody on that side. There's kind of a raised up on either side by a good kind of 5 feet or so, what would be like a walkway that's at the base of the curtain wall, and then eventually somewhere there will be steps up the gatehouse that you're actually stood just behind. You're on the north side, and looking south, there is a fairly open, kind of clear and flat training area or bailey that maybe markets would pick up in or travelers would go through and have goods checked. At the far end to your right hand side, so this would be the kind of southwest, there is what looks like a kind of a smaller hall or maybe like a barracks or something, but with the flags of House Ironwood proudly displayed. And on the other side, the keep, this tall keep that's probably only about 50 yards or so away from you.
Okay. I'm going to use one of my keep dice on this agility test.
Flaw in agility. I think I've only rolled. Yep, only rolled 2d6. So that's the second one was erroneous. So a 7, I want to say.
So if you have a flaw, you still roll the number of dice that you have in the stat, but you drop one.
Oh, awesome. Oh, well, I'll just roll the d6 then. And that's /. Oh, so a 5 plus a 4, so 9.
Okay.
The fast trait doesn't give you advantage or anything in initiative. It just means you're quick, right?
The fast benefit, I believe...
Kind of shit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think, because we play such theatre of the mind,
yeah,
it means you can move about further, I would say. You can get further narratively with your move actions.
When running, I can run 5 times faster than most.
Yeah.
It would have been good if
I can move 5 yards further.
Would have been good if I rolled the correct initiative. Still a 9.
Okay. Fair. All right, so it's going to be Don, then the Spearmen, and then Alfred and Briar. It's up to you who wants to go first. 2 of those.
Okay.
And how many guards are charging us right now, or aware of us, as the rest of them are kind of attacking each other?
Yeah, so there is a melee of what's that? About 7 combatants around you, and a couple of them have trained their eyes on you guys.
If I go first, I think once the fight starts breaking out and then like actually people are clashing, the first thing Rob would do immediately is slip off. Probably if there's stairs upward,
yeah,
that he would move off so that he's not in line of sight, he's not visible, and he would move into the stairwell there. And I think he would just quietly call out, "Alfred, this way." And he would draw his pair of daggers that he keeps like sheathed in his boots, and just kind of like ready, just in case. I guess I can ready an attack if somebody comes through, right?
Sure. I'm going to do like a weird attack of opportunity thing here. What I'd like you to do for me in terms of the actual movement is just roll an agility dodge for me, just to try and kind of duck and dive out of the way of the people that are in your way. So that fights have erupted all around this courtyard, all around you. So it's tricky to get around, but
okay. What's my DC? Do I get to know that?
Yeah. Let me have a look here. I'll do this against. I'll do this against their passive quickness of 12. I think
12.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to use a bonus dice on this. And I get my cunning. Or no, I don't. Okay, there it goes. 15.
Nice. All right. So you duck and weave, dodge some sword blows that were heading your way, and head up onto the kind of the base platform of the curtain wall, and then into ducking into a very tight stairwell that is inside the wall itself.
Is there like a place that I can squeeze so I can be hidden? I want to try to stay hidden.
I mean, you can stay here down almost at the base of this stairwell, but it's like a single person like stairwell, not even 3 foot wide.
You can tell me no, but I want to spider climb up the narrow stairwell so that I'm hanging up above the archway.
All right. So last thing is your action. Then I want you to roll for me an athletics sneak.
Okay. And does this count as can I still do my opportunity attack if I succeed?
Yeah.
I just want this to look cool.
Sure. Yeah. I want to take some liberties.
So you want me to do athletics stealth?
I want to do an athletics stealth. You're having to hold yourself up for some time before people come chasing after you.
Or athletics sneak. Okay.
Yeah. So athletics and then sneak for specialty.
I like that. So athletics.
I always like mixing the dice up.
Yeah. 17.
Okay, so that is your awareness DC for the other guys. All right. So next up are the Spearmen.
Sam.
Yeah.
In the idea of spending destiny points, does it have to be on your turn, or can I spend a destiny point?
You can spend a destiny point.
I would like to spend a destiny point so that in this melee, there are too many bodies in between the spearmen and us for them to get to us in one turn. So we have a free turn without any combat.
I will let you burn a destiny point to do that.
Burn?
Yeah.
What?
That's big detail, man. That's a big detail. If you said like, oh, I just want one less spearman, then I'd let you spend a destiny point.
All right, I'll burn it.
All right. So with the fight around you, the guards have actually turned. A little applause there. Come on. Yeah, as the fight is actually kicked off, the spearmen have turned away from you and have started to try and defend themselves from the onslaught of the knights, which gives you a chance to slip away. So they are going to try and murderize some knights while you guys have a chance to move away or take some actions. So, Tom, why don't you go first there?
Okay. When I noticed all this going on and mass melee and saw Rob head to the side, he's going to turn to Brian. Brian, come on, let's go. And he's going to pelt to where Rob was going and up the stairs, like really gracefully, just like as quick as he can. At this point, he's probably got his bow out. He's got an arrow ready. But again, he would like to take cover up there so that he's not noticed by anyone, so that he's stealthing, essentially.
You've got a very, very slim line of sight, depending on how far you head up this stairwell. And Rob, as Alfred heads up the stairwell, Tom, what's your passive awareness?
Oh, it's not very good. It's 8.
You do not notice where Rob's gone.
It's not the first time he's disappeared.
No.
He's around.
So just quick to catch up, Briar, you heading in the same direction?
Absolutely, yeah. Sword and shield drawn at this point. Like, this is not... he's not... I don't know if he can stealth, but he's basically going to just surreptitiously back up. And
I mean, that's what you guys are doing right now. And then, so as you back up into the stairwell to try and help out Alfred, I imagine that you're taking a guard position to try and block anybody coming up these stairs.
Absolutely.
So Don, that's what you can see as Rob hangs there, like maybe only a few feet above them, But Briar, what's your passive awareness?
Hey, that's a good question. I think it's 20.
Cool. So as you turn, you do see a foot that's like hanging there on the ceiling. You look up and Rob is like not quite waving, but maybe, I don't know, giving you a little nod from the top of the as this is only like 6-7 foot up. This is just a
he's right above you.
Single stairs up a wall.
Yeah, to be surprised you just sort of ready.
Duck down a bit more.
Once Briar comes in and hunkers down in front of the archway, you just kind of hear a guffaw from Rob, and then he swings down and he'll drop down to the stairs and look over his shoulder briefly and give Briar just a brief pat on the shoulder, and then he'll sprint up the stairs as well.
All right.
Follow suit.
You guys just heading straight up the stairs?
Yeah.
But maybe stealthily. So
yeah,
if there's anybody up top, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, I'll be like.
I'm happy to like crawl up the stairs first.
Okay, so Rob, your turn. So you slowly crawl up the stairs. I'll let you get to where do you want to get to? There's going to be like a thin corridor in the middle of the curtain wall, I think, and there is going to be the top where you can run around.
Oh, let's go to the top.
Okay. So you peek. So as you spend your turn making your way up this staircase and just checking around, you see that corridor left and right, but it's a really tight single file thing that just gets you around the curtain wall, and you're thinking, well, maybe not. Head again, crawl back up, and just peek over where the little, not even a hatch, but where the actual kind of hole would be for these stairs, just to see if anyone's around. There's no one on this top curtain wall yet.
Okay.
But as Briar, you're guarding and slowly making your way up, as it's their turn, one of these spearmen you see them look around at this platform, duck, turn, and then lunge for you as they try and make an attack against you. I'm not going to give them any bonuses from their chums because you're in such a tight, confined space. But I am going to roll my fighting spears. I'm going to use... No, I'm not. 21 versus your combat defense.
With shield, that's a total of 15.
So 2 degrees of success. but not double, so no crit. So that is going to be... Oh, it's not... Yeah, I can't just click the damage. Where are we? Here we go. What? That can't be true. Athletics, fast. What?
Huh?
They do 8 damage.
Oh, ow. Yikes.
But remember your armor rating will reduce that.
Armor rating of 8.
Cool. So he lunges a few times to try and get under the shield. He hooks it a little bit and tries to stab, but it's not enough to get through. You've got Brigadine, I think, right?
Yep.
As it scrapes along and cuts some of that Brigadine cloth, it cuts along a plate, and you can hear the chink of it as it hits.
Okay. With your permission, Alfred, I would like very much to try and... Basically, he's on a lower stair than I am, right?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, and he's stabbing upward. I would like to lunge my shield down in such a way that I'm trying to rip the spear from his grasp and send it down the stairs.
All right. So this is a disarm.
Yep.
So this would be against opponent's passive fighting result.
Okay.
So
and this will be with shields, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right.
This says 2 degrees to disarm them, but I'll give it to you if you succeed.
Now I'm trying to think. No bonus die. No bonus die. And no penalty die, right?
No penalty.
All right. 21.
All right. I mean, that is even 2 degrees of success. So you manage to just hook the spear away. It clanks against the curtain, like the wall just next to you, and he's disarmed. So he draws back onto that platform that's kind of just behind, and he whips out a short sword. But Alfred's gonna...
Can I loose an arrow?
Yep.
Or is it too tight?
It's going to be a tight shot, so I'll give him some cover, essentially.
That's fine.
Some more combat defense. But yeah, you can make a shot.
I am going to loose an arrow.
All right.
Actually, let me have a look for any fancy things that I can do. No, you know what? I'm just going to shoot. For now.
All right.
And 26.
Oh. So even with the cover, you loose an arrow through the gap that you have above Briar and just through that little corridor, and you hit the guy square in the neck, doubling that as the crit, and with all that damage, he gets straight through the neck and he falls backwards onto the sandy floor of the bailey.
Okay. And then he'll just say, "Keep moving up. Let's go."
Not even talking at this point. Like it's almost like he's growling as he hauls ass up the stairs.
All right. You guys all keep heading upstairs and quietly make your way up onto the top of the curtain wall, as Rob is already there and is already ducked down, but is on there because he's seen that no one's around, I think.
Yeah.
And as you guys head up, you look down to survey the scene that's below you. And between the armor, the yellow, the red, the orange shields that catch glance, you all catch glances of this low, long shape in the melee, black and white stripes skirting between the dancing soldiers around you, and then suddenly leaping and landing between 2 spearmen. Clearly now is the feline form of a shadow cat appearing on the battlefield. Charlie, or should I say Salistria?
Me.
Yeah. Please roll agility quickness for me.
All right. Agility, 2 bonuses.
As I was describing that, my own little shadow cat jumped up onto the windowsill.
That's an 18, Salistria.
Beautiful. So you will I think, go first.
Unfortunately, it's not dark, so I don't get my +1d to extra things, but that's okay.
Yeah. All right. So, what does Salastria do, given that these spearmen all around her are scared but stabby?
Salastria does not like stabby people. She has been stabbed by these stabby people before. And she is now in... There's something strangely familiar about there being walls around her. She's grown accustomed to walls.
Yeah.
And she knows if you can get between the walls, there are usually places to hide. And also places to ambush from, which is her preferred method of dealing with people. So she would like to try and do the classic cat weave through legs and spears and around to try and find a position where she can kind of ambush from.
Okay.
Or get high to jump down on, kind of use leopard tactics.
Yeah. So if you can roll for me, I'm going to do the same kind of test that I had for Rob earlier, I think.
Okay.
I'd like you to roll for me again a agility dodge test, and this will be against their agility quickness. So we're looking for a 12.
20.
That is success. So you easily duck and weave around the spears that come your way, and slowly quickly jump up onto a platform at the bottom of the curtain wall. It's,
I think,
from the boys' perspective, it's not quite where they are. It's kind of the other side of the gatehouse, like the more towards
I think
the
as she
west.
goes, one of the spearmen steps forward, and like the foot comes close, and she like does the hiss at it and like sneaks even further.
Proper
like,
snarly hiss as well. This
Yeah.
big cat. Yeah, for sure. All right, and she makes her way up onto there. Slowly, the fight has been moving around, and both the boys at the top will see that the fight starts to spill out from the castle side, the keep side of the curtain wall, onto the top of the on top of the wall that where you are, probably quite far, but still in the direction of the keep. And then Salastria, just as you've jumped up onto this platform at the bottom of the curtain wall, there are already a couple of knights, a couple of spearmen around. I am going to give a quick stab here for the spearmen. I'm going to give them a bonus dice. There are a couple of them on you right now trying to fight your way. That's a 19 versus your combat defense. That stabbing. Salastria.
Stabby. That's very stabby, Sam. Hold on, I'm looking.
That's all right. You don't usually do this
will
bit.
succeed. You say 19?
19.
So that's 2 degrees of success.
2 degrees will give it an 8 damage. Minus your DR. There is a bit of natural DR, I think.
I'm just looking to see. Close. There's nothing on my sheet. It just says natural armor.
Oh. Maybe there isn't.
Okay.
Double check the rulebook and deduct it if
I'm
you
just
do.
grabbing it.
Yeah, deduct it if you
what
do
damage
have
did you
some.
say?
8.
Okay, good to know.
It's quite a bit. All right. These are some speary boys.
Scary boys.
Speaking of speary boys, what would you like to do, lads? Now you're up on the curtain wall here. As I say, the curtain wall that leads to the actual keep itself, that you can get to from here, does have some soldiers at the other end currently fighting each other. But the curtain
soldiers versus knights.
Soldiers versus knights, yeah.
Oh, trust us to come here.
It's all right. We just got to find a way to get to Myria quickly before this takes the entire keep.
We don't even know if she's here. We need information. We need someone.
What do you want to do, Alfred? You want to get inside the castle or not? It's either that or we run. That's it.
Let's get in the keep. I know there's someone there.
Okay.
All right. And how many guards are there between us and the keep?
I'd say there's a kind of 4 or 5 in a melee, just near the entranceway to the keep from the curtain wall.
How many? 4 or 5, including the knights, or 4 or 5 guards,
including
4 or 5 knights?
So there is a melee of 5 people.
All right. So he's gonna lean over to Alfred and he's gonna say, Right as I attack, you loose an arrow on the other ones. We'll take out the guards. The knights will listen to us. We have Oliver's halberd. I believe in their honor.
You have more faith in that than I.
Jesus.
Just gonna roll my shoulders and kind of listen to whatever they say.
We're getting in the middle of a Dornish civil war here.
We
to it.
didn't have a choice.
We don't have to be in the middle of it. If we get to Myria, we'll be fine.
Then we get to Myria. Okay, I'll take the guards.
All right. Keep an eye on me. I'm going to stay low. And he goes moving as quickly as he can, stealthing, right? Like he's sneaking, staying low. He doesn't want to be seen. And his goal is basically to get in a position to attack one of the guards that's fighting the knights in a way that like then Alfred, can take his shot at the other guard and hopefully take him out really quickly.
So as you wheel your way around, there isn't really any cover for you to hug as you make your way around. You'll be seen, but what you can maybe try and do is maybe like a blend-in roll to try and just be slow, and if they have something meaner to focus on, which they do at the moment, you might be able to slip up to them without actually like aggroing them.
Okay.
So this is more like an aggro check than it is a sneak check, I guess. But this is gonna be quite high. It's gonna be like an 18 because you're
oh geez,
weapon wielding, like on a curtain wall in the middle of this fight. It's very difficult to sneak up on someone in exactly these circumstances, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think he thinks Alfred has his back if they turn on him. An 18, huh?
Yeah.
That is like a 50-50. And this would be blend in, not sneak, right?
Blend in, yeah.
I'm going to use my last keep die.
All right. Leaves you with one bonus dice left. That's not you. There you are. Nearly took Charlie's keep dice away. Hey. So you slowly, unassumingly try your best to move up to them without really properly alerting a soldier looks at you as you're approaching, and it's actually one of the knights. They've seemingly burst out of the keep with attacking these guards. The guards have been wheeling back a bit from where their position was inside the keep here. But it's the spearmen the Ironwood spearmen that haven't noticed you properly, and the knights are on the other side of this melee, so they're not really attacking.
Yeah, so as they're fighting back versus the knights, he's doing his best. He's moving slowly, looking kind of confused, like over his shoulder, like maybe he's being chased, but not moving too quickly. And then when he gets within range and he makes eye contact with Alfred, he doesn't even look back over his shoulder at the closest spearman. He just, his hand straight out with one dagger in one hand. And then a moment later, another dagger hooks around from the front, and he's going to try to stab him in the shoulder, slit his throat.
Okay. So I want you to make that fighting test for me, but you got +1 keep dice, as the guy doesn't know you're there.
Yeah, I get my surprise.
Get surprise, and yeah, make the roll for me.
How about a 35?
That's going to just kill him. I mean, that's 4 sixes. Yeah. That is death. So describe exactly how this happens.
Yeah, he gets close. He looks back over his shoulder like he's worried somebody else is coming again. He makes eye contact with Alfred. And the moment he makes eye contact with Alfred, the hand goes out, one dagger hooking like in between the greaves of the spearman's armor, like right into his shoulder blade. And he pulls him back against his shoulder, and he slits his throat with his offhand dagger. And then he uses that man's body as a shield. Cool. It's just unceremonious, super fast.
Doing a war crime. Nice. All right. Yeah, we're good. Okay, Alfred.
I loose an arrow.
All right. So on the other guy, I want you to make that marksmanship test for me, please. +1 dice for him being unawares of your presence.
Oh, cool. What, a bonus dice or test dice?
It's a funny one. I'll actually give you a bonus dice because he is aware of danger. He is fighting someone else.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just completely relaxed and stuff, I think.
Okay.
But he's not expecting it from this direction, at least.
25.
With a 6 is great. So yeah, describe how you finish this guy off.
So almost as the blades come out with Rob, and he cuts and pulls him back. As he pulls him back, the arrow kind of just whistles right past his ear, and the guy that was just looking down, it just goes through the neck and brings.
Are you describing the Sniper Elite?
I am describing a Sniper Elite kill count. Yep.
Cool. I very much appreciate it, man. All right, yeah. And the guy buys it. The guards just stood facing you now, Rob, are standing off and still have weapons drawn but are not immediately attacking you.
These are the knights.
Yeah. Plate armor, big swords.
He's holding that man's body up against his shoulder, and Rob's not a big guy, so I imagine this Dornishman's probably actually a little larger than he is. So he's like holding him up against his shoulder, and he leans over his head and he says, "Sir Rob, House Greenmont, Sir Alfred, House Greenmont, we're here with news of Sir Oliver Ironwood. We're here for Myria Greenmont. Can you help us?"
At this point, Alfred would have run up with him.
Briar would have as well.
I have not heard Myria Greenmont is here. I do not understand.
No,
but I thank you for your assistance, friends.
No. Please. You must have seen her. She came with Oliver, a girl, a Reacher girl, 13, long dark hair.
So Oliver left us from Vulture's Roost, and we came here. This is not a good time.
Can you get us inside? We can find her if you get us inside the castle.
As long as you kill any Martell and Gargalen guards on your way, of course.
Well...
He kind of shakes the body that's hanging on his shoulder a little bit in agreement.
Do we look like we're here to make friends?
This way.
The girl, Myria, she was with Sir Oliver. He kind of describes her a little bit. Says he called her when we were together his god's daughter.
And as you're like pacing through the corridors, just kind of looking in like rooms and stuff, as servants are screaming, you can hear things being knocked over and the clink of steel on other steel and board. He says, "You speak of Casella Sand, his daughter, no?"
I didn't know Oliver have a daughter? No, he didn't.
He called her his daughter once. I heard it.
Could be her. Where is she? Do you know where she is?
I believe she was taken to the dungeon.
The dungeon. Okay. To the dungeon. At this point, can I stop and actually put some fucking leather armor on, please? Because I haven't got it on, and I'm really feeling vulnerable here.
Okay. Briar.
Thank you.
As you duck into a side room, just an antechamber with probably some pots and pans, some supplies here. You think it's quiet, and then from the other side of the room, all three of you inside, and Alfred has just started to try and unpack his leather armor and and robe himself with it and arm himself with it. You all hear the crunch of a door being chucked off its hinges as a guard is pushed back, and a woman rushes forward with a short sword as she slashes and stabs at this guard. And Briar, there's something about her that you remember. Messy black hair, all brushed back behind her ears to just above her shoulders. And the tan skin of someone who's travelled and knows the wild outdoors. She fights with a long blade and a dagger, ducking and weaving around this guard as he tries to stab with his spear in such close quarters. And there is a melee just at the other side of the other end of this room, fellas.
All right, jump into the fray, like by her side.
Okay. So if you want to take an action, if you want to take an attack against the guy.
Sounds like a perfectly fine maneuver. I'll go ahead and use Long Blade Fighting 1. So I'll sacrifice all bonus die for if it hits an extra degree of success.
Okay.
And actually, I'll use my bonus die as well.
Sure.
Because that seems important.
All right.
Book-a-dunk. So 18. If that hits, then it's another degree of success.
It does hit. So that would be 3. So it's 4 degrees of success. Yeah.
4 degrees. That's damage for my sword. 5 damage. So 15.
Cool. Is gonna finish the guy off. So as she's slashing and stabbing, you head into the side of him, and I think quite easily run him through. Probably. Anything else? How you finish this guy?
I imagine it's sort of like a diaphragm thing. So he's got his armpit in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I just go in and stab, shield back in front.
Sure.
Before turning to the woman.
Yeah, it's a little gritty, a little gruesome. You've not been to these you've not had posh fighting training. You've learned this from doing it, so it's a very simple, efficient maneuver. And he, as he turns and hits the back wall, he looks at you and gushes, and his eyes drain of life, and he falls to the ground. And as you look up at this woman, she looks at you with this quizzical expression.
No. This is just repeatedly like.
I know you. And she's pointing at you with her dagger still in her hand.
Shield in front.
Briar?
Had the pleasure of being called that, yes. Daira.
Who are these guys?
Friends.
Why are you here?
Delivering a message and finding someone important.
Who?
Greenmont girl. Young. Black hair, or brown hair, something like that.
Her face drops. Myria.
That's her name.
Alfred's at this point ran up. Do you know Myria? Okay, yep. He takes
Just
a step back. Yep,
no,
takes a step back.
Have taken to be her cohort. Yes, I know Myria Greenmont. We left Summerhall together.
Empathy check. No.
Okay. Roll that dice.
Come on, 18. Only an 18.
You don't detect any weird tells or that she's trying too hard to impress that upon you. Obviously, she's very taken aback by the fact this is even happening, and she's beginning to ask, "What message? Who are you? What is this?"
Sir Oliver's dead. We bring his halberd, and we bring her home.
Fuck me, why didn't you say so first?
Well, the last time we talked, it wasn't exactly pleasant.
I get that, fine, but... Look, she was taken to the dungeon, but she's not there anymore. I don't know what's happened to her.
Well, obviously moved, but by who?
Fucking pick one. Ironwoods, Martells, Gargalans.
Okay, Dara, you know the castle. Are there any other dungeons, any other cells that you know of?
I was in one myself, but it's just that, I think. I haven't even been to that quarter before. Found my way up here and found this mess. And you can hear more shouting on the other side, the door you've come in as well, and more scuffling and fighting on the other side of that in the corridor.
Okay, we need to move. Where the hell would they keep her?
I would like to make a cunning logic check.
Sure.
With my extra dice, so that's 46.
To do what?
To see who would be the most likely candidate to keep or to take Myria from where she currently is.
Sure.
All right, so 46. Motherfucker. 9.
The two most likely candidates are either Horatio, Ironwood, or maybe Prince Martell, if he's here, has taken her for the fact that he would return her to Prince Maekar, maybe as a political move.
We're dealing with nobles, aye? Nobles all around.
Always nobles, yes.
And if Ironwood were wanted to keep her in place, why would he move her if he already had her?
Right. To protect his hostage with all this mess going on?
Perhaps.
Perhaps he's moved her south. Perhaps he's moved her north, even.
Oh, we didn't notice. When was the last time you saw her?
A few days ago. I've been locked up.
Listen, I think there's 4 of us. I think we should split up. One of us go find Horatio. One of us go look for the prince.
I don't like that idea. I mean, what are we going to do when we come up to Prince Martell? Hello, Prince Martell. We're here for Myria Greenmont.
We don't have to confront him. We just have to see if she's there.
Well, if we're aiming to bamboozle a prince, I think I would like you there.
Yeah.
And he turns to Rob very kind of pointedly.
All right.
Dara, what can you tell? Oh, shit. Actually, let's move to a different room before they smash down that door and we'll continue. So we're going to keep moving just so the door doesn't smash through when we're in another melee.
It's a Sorkin walk and talk, you know.
Yeah.
Go down corridors.
As we're moving, Myria, is there anything you could tell me about her time here? Anything at all that could help?
She's been masquerading as Sir Oliver's daughter, Casella Sand. Horatio is here. Prince Martell is here. He's disbanding the Order of the Blood Royal. That's what all this mess is about.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Fuck.
Do you know where we'd find Prince Martell? Where he might have taken her?
I haven't seen him, but it's likely he's deep within the keep somewhere, under heavy guard. Or I don't know.
But why would he steal her away if they're all in the keep?
Okay. Right. We're not taking sides here. We need to find the Lord and explain our situation.
I'll reach for like a penny that I've got, and I'll immediately flip it and look to Dara.
Dara said,
"Oh, you muted yourself." Still muted on Zoom.
Still muted
You're
on
muted
Zoom.
on Zoom.
Oh,
You literally clicked it and muted yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Maybe it's inverted.
How
Do you
it?
spacebar enter?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
because my microphone decided to just stop working.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's fun.
It's doing
That's always
that.
good.
It's doing that now. Yeah, bongs. James is right. We heard bongs because my microphone was plugged back in. Daira says, "I'm taking fucking sides."
Well,
Of course you are.
congratulations, but we can't afford to do that. So, so we all saw a person in full kind of like shit. I don't know what Horatio looks like.
I'm going to
Rob
look at
does.
Daira.
Did Rob see Horatio? Because there was a melee and there
He
was
was
a
at-
person
He was.
very,
Rob was at
It's a
the
squire, right?
tournament.
Yeah.
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 He knows. Who knows what Horatio looks
So
like?
did Rob
He would,
see
yeah.
Horatio in that melee in the courtyard?
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, in that
Horatio.
case,
Oh, what? So, sorry, in the courtyard.
in the courtyard.
Yeah. In the
You
courtyard.
never got a see of who was being protected, but there was a
Okay.
personal guard
Alright.
stood there protecting somebody as they were
Alright.
flinging insults at each other.
With the flipped coin, I'm going to look at Daira and very pointedly say, "You call it. Heads for Ironwood, tails for Martell."
I'm calling it Ironwood. Let's kill this cunt.
In that case, I think we choose a Martell.
I peel it back, reveal tails. Just all right, fine.
Look, if you want to split up, someone come with me. One of you, two of you, go off and find Martell.
Alfred, you and me, Martell.
I'm not having one of you go and try and kill Lord Ironwood.
We're not going to kill him. I'll make sure of that. And, he will again turn very pointedly to Daira.
You remember what Lady Marcia said, Briar?
Oh, yep. And I sort of rub my cheek.
As she peers around the corridor that you're just coming up to the corner of now, she says, "You've got exactly a whore's minute to decide. Otherwise, I'm just going."
Go with her. Make sure she doesn't kill the Lord. Rob, let's go see a prince.
Okay.
Myria.
Yep.
The wood beneath you is wet as you sit with your legs curled to your side as the world around you creaks and moves. The rough spin of the sack over your head scratches at your cheeks still, but is not tied around your neck any longer. And your hands are just held behind you together. You hear that bolt undo from the hatch above you, and two pairs of steps clonk down the steps and onto the deck into you. They pull you up, and then pulling your arms, I need you to make an athletic strength check to keep them together.
Mm-hmm.
As they pull you up under both shoulders, they're pulling at your arms, so they could
Yeah.
quite easily, I imagine, pull your hands apart.
Yeah. Let's use my last bonus die.
All right. Passive is 8 for these guys for their awareness. So
6.
okay. There's a second as your wrists just part by an inch or so,
Mhm.
but you hear that guard say, "Wait. The fuck?" And he looks at the sack and pulls at it and kind of yanks your head a bit, and there's no rope around it. And so he yanks it off and looks down at you and says, "Clever. You think you're clever."
She looks at him in the face and she says, "You'll have to forgive me. I had an itch."
What was your stealth score earlier?
It wasn't great. It was like fucking 2 or something. It was low. It was 2.
So with a 5, they give you a quick pat down and find the spear tip that's to your stomach. and pull it off, and he throws it into the side of the deck, and it twangs into the damp board. He just looks at you, and then hauls you up the 2 hatches and onto the deck. As you're walked up onto the wherever that back part of the ship is, it's not the galley, is it? But it's where the this is the stern where they steer the ship, right?
Yeah. And
you're walked up onto there and stood with his hands behind his back, watching Castle Yronwood off towards the front of the vessel. Now that it's slightly more out into the bay, is Martell.
She doesn't say anything as she's brought up. She keeps her mouth shut.
You are held by these guards, but you are stood and turned to the west to look at Castle Yronwood. The apples do not fall far from the tree, indeed.
And she gives it, she turns to look at him, turns her head to look at him and just fixes him with a very hard stare.
Are you proud of your petulance?
She doesn't say anything.
I knew you were rotten to the core from the moment I was introduced to you. Only Sir Oliver could birth such a beast. I would like to show you now what happens to people who rebel against Martell rule. And he gives a nod to a quartermaster who screams fire at his ship. And you see this huge wooden scorpion, this ballista in front of you on the ship, sling one of the spears with a massive thwang, the spears that you'd found in the hold, at the grounds of the Bailey of Castle Yronwood. And then you see the 20 or so ships around you do the same, as slowly a hail of steel is flung at Castle Yronwood, impacting the walls, impacting the crowds that you can just make out still fighting in the castle grounds. All aflame in this, as the sun starts to set in this kind of red evening sun. This fire is rained down on Castle Yronwood. Rob, you and the gang are making your way through the castle, and you can now hear the thud and crack of siege weaponry against the keep. You hear cries and screams from out in the courtyard, and you all, you and Alfred, for a moment, pause.
What the...
Siege weapons.
Wait. They're attacking Castle.
The Martell ships.
Oh.
The ships, Alfred.
Okay. Is there like a window or like a hole in the castle we can look down to the docks?
Yeah, so you head towards an eastern side wall of the keep. It takes you a little bit of time. Just as you get towards one, there is I like to think, I imagine it's a proper Game of Thrones moment. There is a guard peering out of the window, looking to try and see what the hell is going on, and he gets skewered by one of these huge scorpion bolts, and it buries him into one of the interior castle walls, shattering it slightly, and it crumples around him.
I have a look. I nervously look around where the big hole is and see.
This fleet of vessels is currently raining down flaming scorpion bolts onto the keep itself.
Oh.
Sam, when in our travels through the castle, would we have any idea, like, if we were to get the fuck out of here, what would be the safest way?
Probably back the way you came, along the curtain wall. You might even try and climb down the curtain wall if you were trying to do it kind of stealthy on the outside, It's
right, because they're the ships are on the west side off the port.
On the east side off into the port.
Right, the east side.
Yeah.
And so southwest would be like the free area.
But I imagine the keep itself is on the eastern side of this curtain wall Bailey square area.
Yeah. Okay. He would tell Alfred, we got to get to the east side, the southeast side, back to the southeast side. We're not going to make it to Myria. Not like this. Not inside the castle.
No. How high up are we?
I mean, you're probably I imagine you to be on like a 4th story.
Fuck.
At this point.
All right. Well, I guess we go back and go down that way. Unless you fancy climbing down.
I probably could, but how are you at climbing these days?
I'm the same as ever. I'm okay.
And I imagine they're moving as
we're moving as we go. No, let's take the stairs.
All right, Alfred. I kind of close in this moment. Just says, no matter what happens, I'm glad we're together.
And he'll pat him on the shoulder and go, me too, Rob. Me too.
He'll go in for a full hug. Imagine like in his right cheek.
And he'll give him a tight hug. A bit off because it's like he wasn't expecting it, but he'll give him a really tight hug. And kind of just give him a nod at the end and start running.
And moment before like they break from the run, he just like still holding on to that hug. He just leans in close and says, Favar Morgulis.
I don't know what that means. Alfred might, but I don't.
I would imagine Alfred does.
Yeah.
But Don, I want you to make that roll for me. Tom, that's a 32 against your combat defense.
Fuck yeah. That's it. My combat defense is 6, so that's 4.
So 4 total degrees of success, double your so it's a crit, and that is 2 6s, so the base damage is +4, Don.
With the piercing, that's 39 damage. And it's just like in this hug, during this whisper, 2 blades come straight up underneath the armpits.
I mean, so you could still take a wound, Tom, in order to shrug off all of the damage.
Okay. Okay. Where we are, are we over water or land?
You're over land, because there's still a market and a port you have to get to in order to get to the ships themselves.
Okay. I will take the wound.
Okay.
There's like there's a poison roll too.
Cool. So you roll that for me, Don. So that's 23 against a passive endurance. What's your passive endurance, Tom?
My passive endurance is 12.
So that is success. On a successful attack, you gain a wound per degree. So with a 12, that is 4 degrees, I think. No, 3 degrees. Yeah, 3 degrees of success. So you take 3 wounds as well. If your wounds equal or exceed your your actual endurance rank,
yeah,
then you die.
Okay. I am dead. My endurance is 3. And I can't burn a destiny point to save myself because I'm not defeated.
It's all
dead.
the wounds that have come to you. Yeah.
Yes, I am dead.
I spend can I slow down? Does he have to die immediately?
No. You've got this, man.
Okay. He would, I guess, like slowly lay you down, but this poison, it kind of makes it very difficult for Alfred to talk. He can move, but it's like it fights his coordination. He just kind of lays you down right at the top of the stairs and kneels down beside you and puts his daggers back in his hip sheaths. He's looking down at Alfred.
It was kind of like he's there. He's trying to fight it with every last bit of energy, but he's just there and he's just staring up, like tears in his eyes, and he's just.
I want you to know, Alfred. He loved you. You were like a brother to him. You were a hero, his hero. And kind of grabs your hand and gives it a little squeeze. And reaches up and he peels his face away from his face. You see the face of a young, chiseled-jawed woman, Alice Strong. Alice speaks to you then. You and your friends should have returned to Bittersteel. You should have kept your word, my lord.
He'll kind of, instead of like tears, he'll turn to anger, and he'll kind of move his hand and he'll try and go for his Greenmont blade and try and unsheath it and pull until he just can't. It's just slightly unsheathed, and he just
takes the sword, unsheaths it, puts it on his chest, and folds his arms over his chest so that he's gripping the hilt of the blade. And then draws another dagger, and he reaches for Alfred's face.
Salastria, as you dodge around these spearmen on the bottom platform of the western curtain wall, you see this fire, this giant fire raining down onto the ground, and men brutally dying from its weight and its strength and its burning energy. What's your strategy here? Where are you heading for?
She is hunting for Myria because for the last few weeks, every night in her head, that's been the driving feeling she's had. And she doesn't know many words. She's a fucking cat, but the words that she knows, it does include Myria, which she had yelled many times at this young girl who insisted on petting the shadow cat. And she's using her kind of hunt and track to track the Greenmont smell, because that's what Myria smells like. She's tracking what Myria smells like.
For sure.
And she's going to dodge and weave. She's going to try and avoid the fire, because fire seems bad. She doesn't want that. She doesn't like the spiky men. They are also bad. And so she's just snaking, and she's trying to hunt and track and using her dogged shadow cat instincts to hunt a prey. Okay. Only it's Myria.
For sure. I'd like you to make that roll then. So I guess it's awareness. Is it notice that this falls under? Because I think there's some little special.
Can I use survival rule. Hunt track?
Oh shit! Yeah, of course you
can. Question.
Yeah.
As Dara and I are making our way along, I saw the cat, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't like hallucinating. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that cat because that's Martia's why is it here?
Yeah, for sure. You're inside the keep right now, aren't you? Where are you heading for?
We wouldn't be going to the dungeons because Daira says that she's taken out.
She's taken. So you're looking for you're looking for Horatio, right? So I reckon that you guys are probably heading back to try and get a vantage point from maybe a little courtyard that sees out onto the Bailey. So yeah, you're making your way down to the bottom floor. And I imagine narratively that you guys are heading roughly towards each other, I think.
Yeah.
And then, Charlie, make that roll for me. This is going to be...
For clarity, Salistria took an injury previously, which reduced that hit by 3. So I'm at a -1 total number from my thing. Just for clarity, because she doesn't have natural armor.
Okay.
So you know what I've done.
Sure.
So I'm gonna do track or hunt, doesn't make a difference. Sam, can I use my keep dice, my extra one for me?
Absolutely.
All right. How can I do this? Right, I'm gonna roll this as a stealth because that's the only one I've got 5 in on Salistria's sheet. And with a bonus dice, submit, no penalty dice. And it's already done the -1 because I put the injury in.
Charlie, I will let you roll for Marcia's luck.
Ooh, I can't reroll. Okay.
Because you forget to use it all the time.
I mean, I do.
And
yeah, I mean, and it's Salistria and Marcia, they're basically the same character. One eats birds, the other capitulates to higher powers, and also eats birds, but of a different kind.
Okay, on this reroll, question, do I get my extra keep dice on a reroll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a reroll.
21.
Heroic. All right.
My GM loves me.
You find I love you all. You find a scent as you whip again through, even ducking and weaving through the kind of legs of these spiky boys, these speary boys, and you head more towards the stone cave these men and women like to stay in. I need you, though, as a bolt comes your way, to make an agility dodge test.
Okay.
Difficulty, this is going to be 12, as a scorpion bolt is heading in your direction.
Agility with 1 bonus dice for dodge, and I'll take into account the injury. 14. Succeeds.
That is enough. How does she dodge out of the way of this? I like this. I like to think this was quite a close check as well. So
I think her ears are flat to her head, right? She's keeping low. She's kind of squatting through, and she can hear that sound, that wind sound, and she
whistle.
Just kind of flattens herself to the ground. The whole cat just goes long to the ground, and the bolt just kind of straight through her fur and into the wall,
into the shin of a stabby guy.
And she just kind of U-bends. And
she does a cat movement. Yeah. Just moves out of the way of the fuss. Yeah,
when they're like commando crawling, she full on flat downs, and then she just kind of whoop.
Yeah.
Snakes on up.
Nice. And you head into the stone house, and Briar, as you're trying to keep pace with Daira, she seems determined to head down and to find Lord Horatio. You catch a slither again of the shadow cat stepping inside into just a different little entrance and room that you've got line of sight on.
I'll whistle over to Daira.
What? Use your words.
You're not going to believe this. You're going to think I'm mad. That cat will show us where she is.
And she peers round, and then she pulls round like, fucking shadow cat. What do you mean it's going to show us where they are?
It's not just any shadow cat, though. It's Lady Marcia's. And I don't know why, but it's smarter than most. And it's hunting for something. And I'll bet you every single coin in my pocket, it's hunting for her.
This day couldn't get any fucking stranger.
It can always get stranger. Just step past her and follow suit.
Okay, I was going to get you to make a persuasion test to try and get her to follow along.
But I'm gonna be following Salastraya no matter what. But I'll go ahead and that's a 5.
Yeah, I don't think that's her passive will. So you head off alone as she parts and heads out into the courtyard again. As you follow this shadow cat, it leads you about and doesn't actually head down the. It heads down to where you think the dungeon might be, and you can steps down, and you imagine the way this is built. This is down towards the dungeons themselves. But Salastraya stops, and she leads you out, and narratively speaking, you have to fight your way. There's a bit more stabbing through some speary boys to get through the eastern gate towards the market and the docklands. But you head out into the market as this shadow cat is staying low to the ground and has got this scent.
I'm imagining as he literally like skewers a guy in the stomach and then just rends it off. He's going to let out another sharp whistle to Salastraya.
Charlie?
Animal handling train? Charm?
If you want.
I mean, I don't think Salastraya particularly is paying attention to the fact someone's following her. She's busy running away from people.
A 10?
10 versus a passive will.
Passive will.
I think it's quite high, weirdly, for shadow cats.
High.
Please be a 9. Please be a 9.
They're hard creatures to turn into work. It's actually an 8. It's not that high.
Oh
my god.
Okay.
So he will sort of be huffing and puffing and like as you look to him, he's got his sword stabbed into the ground and just sort of looking to Salastraya. I follow you. Lead me to her. I'll keep you alive. Fair trade.
There's this low, grumbling, warning growl, and she just turns and she sneaks off like as quick as she can, thinking she's, getting an advantage of getting away from you.
Just blitz as best as I can.
Absolutely. Myria. Martell stands at the stern of this vessel, quite happy with himself, as he watches the knights, maybe some of his own men, get speared and skewered into the ground of the camp house of House Yronwood. And he says, "Your father was a hot-blooded young man who never knew his place. Did he ever really tell you why he became the exile in Dorne?
Your brother murdered his brother.
Your father murdered my brother. In an attack, he declared a duel, but never followed custom or ceremony. He ambushed my brother and killed him in cold blood. Revenge for the foolishness of his younger brother. Oliver's father agreed to exile his eldest son for the sake of peace. And I actually applaud him for that. For his son wanted nothing less than to tear this kingdom apart. And for what? Under my rule, Dorne has enjoyed more influence in Westeros than ever. That day taught me a valuable lesson about ruling a kingdom. A right bestowed on me because of the very act of murder he committed, killing my brother. You see, this is all really his doing. And now, I do not have to busy my hand watching my back in my own kingdom, seeking him out to kill him. I have leal subjects for that. He survived the last attempt Horatio placed on his life for me, by all accounts, but he will not survive again. He will never take another step in Dorne for as long as I draw breath.
And Myria is glaring at him. Her face is just pure anger as he's talking at her. And she spits at him. He always said people like you were a disease, a sickness, using your power to further your own desires, your own needs. You don't care who you hurt. You fired on your own men.
Do you think this is for me? This is for the kingdom of Dorne and the Seven Kingdoms themselves.
You are no true ruler of Dorne. Look at you, bowed, bent, and broken before the Targaryens.
As if you know the politics of the Red Keep yourself, huh? Now, to dispose of bad apples. And he takes you and begins to push you towards the edge of the boat. I need you to make me a agility or athletics check against Marin's passive athletics.
Okay, so I see that I have a plus D up there.
Yeah.
And I have a glut of destiny points. I want to burn one to add 5.
Okay. Is that a thing we still do?
Yeah, it's on the cheat sheet.
Cool.
I checked.
All right, wicked.
Okay, so oh Jesus Christ. Okay, this is not going to be good. So rolling 3 and adding 5 to this. Dropping none. No, add 5. 14. Fucking hell. It's not a great roll.
Okay. That is still a success as he pushes and holds you by the chin, pushing you up towards the boarding on the side of the boat, and he's trying to push you over as you just hold on. Just let go.
And she's got tears in her eyes and her face is reddening with exertion, but she is gripping on with a death grip. And she almost laughs. Look at you, trying to kill a child. Pathetic. She spits in his face.
Trying to dispose of a mistake. And I get his stats up. He will...
I kind of want to knee him in the bollocks. Because he's got me here, right?
Yeah.
I just want to bring up the knee.
So I am going to use...
Just beware of iron cod pieces.
Right. I'm going to use a couple of my test dice and a bonus dice.
Oh, God.
Uh, 24 in terms of strength. Against your passive athletics.
Yeah, it's not 24.
All right. As he pushes finally, and it almost like you feel like your neck is going to snap is why you let go, and eventually he pushes you over the side as you splash into the water below you. I need you to try and keep your head above water. Do you have any bonus dice in swim?
No.
Then you cannot swim. But I need you to try or you need to try and stay above water. So please roll for me athletics swim test versus challenging 9.
Okay, do I have any dice left?
Did I take them off when you rolled the thing? I think I did.
You got bonus dice, it looks like.
I got a bonus dice left?
I think so. Because you only used 1 test dice just then, right?
Yeah.
Right, you got a bonus dice.
Okay. Come on,
Also,
Myria, don't die.
Sam, I used test dice, not bonus dice, so my overlay's not right at the moment.
So I've got you as a bonus dice there.
A 12, 2 6s.
Oof.
Cannot kill the Queen of Dawn. I'm telling you.
And you just in a second you are in the depths of this water, this swirling water of the sea that not even you could get used to it, and that you look down very briefly from what you can blurrily see in this water, and it just goes down into not into murky depths. The sea itself is quite bright, but into darkness that you can't quite see the bottom of, and you kind of flap around in the water, and you just bob your head above, gasping for air as another wave washes over you, and you just keep your head above water as we close our session for the night.
Fucking hell.
That was the Scorpions of Dawn. So, how about them episode 6s?
How about them?
I guess we're just running as long as season 8 runs, right? 6 episodes and that's it. Is that...
Hey, now. There's loads of cool more stuff we could do. So yeah, let's chat, friends. Know that I love you all dearly. But a lot of this has been in the making for a little while. Susie, you're just about keeping your head above water.
Just about.
Yeah.
Phew, the dice were with Myria today.
Oof.
She pulled through when she needed to.
But yeah.
And I liked that roll to resist the first time didn't happen, right? Like she managed to hold on, even though she ultimately did go in the water. She held on.
Yeah.
She was like, no.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Nice. All right. So, quick plug. Where can we find you? What are you up to next?
Okay, so you can next find me on my own channel tomorrow, which is twitch.tv/Susanna Grace, where I will be either playing a video game or I'll be if I do an art stream, I'll be working on Charlie's new updated Martell portrait. Or hell, finding out who Tom's new character is and drawing him tomorrow. Who knows? But other than that, you can find me on Encounter Roleplay on Mondays, where I play the Lady Allegra Dorsey, who is also a troublemaker and has also got a lot of blood on her hands soon. TM, which is on it's another Song of Ice and Fire game, and that's on at 7 p.m. GMT on Encounter Roleplay. So that's usually, and on Wednesday we have a fun 2-shot on Encounter Roleplay using Spyhander, where if you've been watching Betrayal at Heart Home and it became Rat Home and Les Miserables, join us for a 2-shot of Skazak fun.
Cool.
It's
My
gonna be
most
good.
hated musical ever. Cool. All right. Sweet. Thanks so much for that. And thank you for being a team player, I guess. Sportsmanlike. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All right. Speaking of sportsmanlike, Tom. How you doing, buddy?
I don't say this very often for characters and the game and stuff like that. Rarely happens, but I am devastated that I've lost Alfred. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I am genuinely upset that he is now dead.
Yeah,
and that's
fair.
rare.
No,
that's
fair.
rare, because I go into games going, if a character dies, he dies. Fine. But when you make a connection to a character and you had ideas for the future and stuff like
and he's
that,
been
and
through so much.
He's been through so much. I'm surprised he was even walking, to be honest. And then it finally happens, but in the most Game of Thrones way ever. I mean, that was just straight at George. You can take that. It was just oof.
Yeah.
But yeah. As for future I don't know. Maybe I won't have one.
We got plenty of time to chat.
Yeah, maybe I won't do one. I don't know, because
cool.
At the moment I'm just.
Yeah, of course. You're still in the moment, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to plug quick and let us know where you are next? Anything like that?
I don't know where I am next. I generally do, probably Zweihander Wednesdays, probably
Zweihander, yeah.
for the 2-shot. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Crownlands Monday.
Oh yeah, am I on that one as well now?
Yep.
Okay, I'm on Crownlands Monday as well.
Yeah, moving from one Game of Thrones game into the next anyway.
Into
so
the other one,
we've
yeah,
still got some.
yeah.
You still got some Game of Thrones love.
I do.
Cool.
Plenty
Nice
of
one, man.
Game of Thrones,
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, so maybe let's go to Don next for a little bit of this. Maybe what you can share without spoiling anything.
Yeah. Yeah, this was I've been kind of dreading this session for a while, which I know Sam knows. Because I love Tom and I love Alfred. When I pitched the idea of playing a faceless man, I didn't really know, what that would mean, and then I did. And I loved all of the role playing that we got this season. Not just with Alfred, but also with Briar. Really enjoyed that. And, I knew this was going to be, I didn't know how this was going to go. And I'm sorry that, I understand the pain that happens when you lose a character is really hard. Sometimes it's harder than others. But I love all of you. I love this group and I love this game. And I genuinely cherish all of the moments that we get to play together. And yeah, so I think that's all I've got. I'm processing right now, but
for sure,
but that's all I have.
And I was so tense with that scene. Obviously, I've been speaking to Don about this character and what it could be. It made sense for it to be a Bittersteel hit, to just dispose of, his mission. And the evidence of that. So, yeah, that's how I placed it. I think, it was a lot of meta, kind of almost in a way metagaming of it too, which is straight out of my playbook. So fair play, but that does, I think, make it all the more devastating, like you say, like a proper betrayal of thing. But you guys apparently have a history of betraying each other in games.
Well,
it's happened, but it's happened before. Yeah,
it's happened.
I would say this is the most escalated that it's ever been.
This is the worst one.
Sure.
We've had, but it has been a few here and there.
I'm calling it now, boys. You got to leave it now. This was it.
Oh, that's it. No more betrayals, is it? Oh,
between the two of you.
Dawn, no more betrayals between us. Oh,
you got to love each other now.
Devastating. There is one comforting thing behind this. Alfred had no chance. Fucking no chance whatsoever. Right. I didn't even see it coming. Alfred definitely didn't see it coming. And when it came, it's going to sound lewd, it came hard. But it was done. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah, the dice were really reflective of that.
Whatsoever. So, and I like that because it fitted. Because if he got injured, that's why I was asking for water. That one of those generic cliche that falls in the water. Could he survive? Could he not? Yeah, but no, I think it felt right. It was a good way to. It was a good way. It was clean as well. I think that may be the first ever just clean one-hit kill assassin that I've seen in a lot of games. So it was nice to see. Yeah.
Let's get round to Jason then. Jason, sir. Meeting up with an old friend, old acquaintance, old enemy, we don't know.
Yeah, great. Great idea. Great job, everybody.
Like a kind of weird session of coincidences as well. And
yeah, very much so.
Worlds and perspectives clashing a little bit, which I loved.
Man. I should have insight. I should have known something was wrong. Oh. I could have prevented this. No, I know.
He was too good, man. Don, he specs for this.
I know. That's what makes it all the worse. Man, that was hats off to y'all. I'm now following a cat to a port and hoping that maybe I don't find a corpse, which would be great. Oh boy. But we're going to have to leave that for whenever I'm on call next because, oh no. I don't even know. I don't have the sort of vocabulary for it, it's
No, that's
just
fair. I mean,
yeah,
this is why we after the fire, friends. You're seeing it here. We're all still processing this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad, Charlie, that we were able to role play for a little bit, and that that was something. But in terms of the rest of it, hats off, of course, to the players. I just know that this is going to be an interesting time to follow. Whew, boy. As it stands, I'll just make it quick. At
Yeah,
Jason,
yeah.
please, on Twitter if you want to see where I'm at any one point in time. As I said at the top, a lot of wonderful, wonderful creative things going on, not only with these lovely, fine folks, but with the Nerdsmith Network that I'm affiliated with. More to come in the coming days. Keep your eyes on this space, and thank you, everybody, honestly, so much for watching. If you're joining us on VOD, hello, or YouTube, hello again.
Thanks, man.
Jesus.
And Charlie, thank you so much for coming on and playing your Shadow Cat.
I was very excited to get to be a cat today. I'm not gonna lie, but also I did a lot of stress crochet during that because I'm just gonna call this color betrayal now. This is the new color of betrayal. It's burgundy. It's right above the Targaryen colors, so it's very appropriate.
Burgundy's definitely the color of betrayal.
Thursdays mean betrayal, apparently. So this is where we're at. I look forward very much to talking to all these people about what just happened and talking to all of you. Please make sure you join the Black Cats Discord and scream with us. Make sure you're using that redacted thing so we don't spoil it for anyone else because it's another big one and we do have people catching up from all the way at the beginning. Made shout out if you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you so much. Likes, follows, etc. All that stuff. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry if I look very vacant or down at my lap a lot. I was listening. I was very stressed. I'm still kind of stressed. But I got to be a cat, so that's cool. Thanks, Sam.
No problem. That is it from us, isn't it? Yes, that's all of us. Cool. If you want to see me around the internet, it's at RPG Webby, or if you want to follow us, it's follow Black Cats. We're a little indie tabletop game publishing group. We are publishing a game called The Spy Game, which is a 5e based action adventure and infiltration espionage kind of RPG. Based on 5e, obviously, the quick start is available free on Drive-Thru RPG, and you can get in on the late pledges at Pledge Manager using the link in there and in the description as well. Friends, some final thoughts while I try and figure out how I move us over to a raid of somebody?
Yeah, my only hope now is Briar.
I did think
Did you ever think you'd see the day?
There might be...
Hey, it's not your only hope. I'm a big old fluffy cat.
Sorry.
I might be able to swim.
An injured Salistrat.
An angry mercenary, a cat, and a little girl traveling through Westeros. That's what I'm seeing right now.
I did. Daira was an entire fucking mood this whole episode. She's like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, definitely.
She also had the stab energy.
She's like, I'm gonna go kill that fucking cunt Horatio. He's fucking done.
Yeah.
It was mwah.
And fucking what's the word? Cowardly little Martell just slumming it on his ship like offshore so that he doesn't have to like
but also smart
get down and dirty. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's smart, I guess.
How kings, princes stay alive.
He didn't stab the shit out of Myria and watch her die. He threw her off his boat. He's not that smart. And she will remember.
He clearly hasn't watched Game of Thrones.
It's Bond villain logic, don't worry.
Susie, given your stats as they just were without any like bonus or keep or destiny points, there's like a very slimmest of chances you'd have made that roll. And actually, it's good that you were out of the bonds too, because they would have given you a -1 dice.
But big shout out in that case to chat who donated to support the show and the characters.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it helps us at Black Cats keep lights on and churn out just a couple more books at a time. on the old print runs and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for that support. We're going to go and raid Encounter Roleplay because we always do, and I always like helping out Hollowtail and stuff on Desk Curios. So we're going to check those.
They got a big
out.
trial on tonight.
So let's go and check out those juicy fruits. If you want more juicy fruits, stay with us every Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time. Things are going to change up because we're changing time, time zoney things. Daylight savings this weekend. So yeah, it's all. As Charlie
goes back to 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 2 p.m. Central, and extrapolate from there.
So back to the regular time. Next week, friends, I believe, according to my funky schedule, it's Alice's trial. Let's have fun with that. So we're not letting up. Big episode 7 energy. Let's go. All right, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to go and see Encounter Roleplay and see what's going on. So thank you so much, friends. Stick around for Encounter Roleplay and the juicy fruits over there. I have had an amazing time. We have had maybe somewhat of a questionable time, but enjoy your time over Encounter Roleplay. Thank you so much.